We're just gonna try to be really loud, aggressive, fast, and tight.
And bang our
Just
heads.
incredible. Give the people something they've never seen before in their fucking lives.
So I'm here today with a guy, he must be approaching 50, we'll find out, who a long time ago, back in 1986 in Belfast, Maine, was a teenager and part of a band that my crew went up and filmed for a day.
We've got confidence, and plus we're superior to all other life forms. So.
Yes.
These were great young guys. They were trying something different. I didn't understand heavy metal at all. So really, I was doing this in part to figure out what was going on. And these four young men were terrific. So I get the chance all these years later, 34 years later, to interview and find out what happened to one of the guys. His name is Matthew. And Matthew.
Yes, David.
What happened after that performance? I mean, I have your Battle of the Bands, but do you remember at all what happened at the end?
Actually, we almost caused a riot that night, and we were actually in physical danger. And this was a kind of a rednecky town. Their big industry was chicken plucking and fishing. And we thought we were going to go over great, and they didn't get it. We were really hardcore, and we were trying to be offensive, and we were offensive. And there were sandwiches flying up on stage, and you know, the whole time I'm with my head down, banging my head and playing. And in the meantime, Eddie almost got attacked, and we were heading into our last song, and they shut us down. And I looked up, and all hell was breaking loose.
So it's all these years later. Does that character that you're seeing, that kid, is that still you? Are you still engaged in this heavy metal? Are you still working for things other than money?
I would be a complete liar if I said I don't like money. But I won't sell out or anything to make it.
I still love to be offensive for comedic value. I'm not really married to the whole heavy metal thing anymore. I still am very active making music, and heavy metal is a aspect of what I do, but I'm really into like sounds of the 70s and classic synths and keyboards. So I'm more with the music that I grew up with, say, in the 70s.
You may remember back then, you quit school. You quit school in high school. What happened? Was that, did you go back? Did you never need school? Give us an idea.
It's been about 2 years since I dropped out of school, so I guess they're over that. At the time, neither one of them were too thrilled about it. My father was more like, whatever makes you happy. My mother didn't talk to me too much for a few days, but I didn't care. It was my decision. I was going absolutely nowhere. I was just wasting other people's time and my time, so I figured I might as well go out and get a job and try to be happy.
I never did go back to school, and I never really regretted quitting school. I was a real punk when I was a teenager. And then, you know, after say the Battle of the Bands and all of that, I've stayed active in music, but I got a job that I worked for 24 years at manufacturing candles at Yankee Candle. I got married, I had kids, and I was doing all right. So I never really felt that not finishing school was that big a deal. You know, at this point, it probably would have been a good idea to stay in school. You know, I might have a better job now, but it is what it is.
First of all, let me just say I completely agree. School didn't get me anywhere or have anything to do with how I lived my life or my career or anything like that. Way back then, the interviewer asks you about the cross, and you say it's just a symbol, doesn't mean anything.
What's the significance of the cross?
I've no idea. I just dig it. I dig the way it looks.
The cross was really just part of the trappings of being a, heavy metal musician. I was never into religion in any way until my late 30s, after I got divorced and had a lot of anger. I did, do some research into Buddhism, to try to help me. And I've kind of maintained that. I've sat a couple meditation retreats, and, I listen to a lot of talks, and I simulate the values somewhat. I'm not a very good Buddhist, I'll tell you that much. I like to drink beer too much.
So back then, you said you would never sell out. Money was fun, but if it came to money or selling out, you're going to give up the money.
I can understand the desire to have greenbacks, but as far as that goes, music integrity should come first. I will never sell out.
I did sell out, and I had to sell out because I, was the father of 4 children, married. So I worked a shit job for a long, long time. But musically, I never have sold out. I'm very active. I've been recording for years, and I have a pretty good catalog of music on YouTube. And I only do it because I love to do it. And it's as simple as that. I do what I want, when I want, musically.
Music you were writing way back then had passion. I mean, think about this. Hearts beating faster, prepare to meet your wrath, my wrath, prepare to meet my wrath. What's the kind of language and words are you writing today? Does it have that?
Meet my wrath. And most of the stuff I was writing at that time was very derivative. I was very new to the hardcore metal thing. And now the things I write are much more, about my own psychology and the troubles that I put myself through.
Back then, the interviewer said to you, say some of the words, and you did. So I'm asking you today, say some of the words. Like, what kind of stuff are you talking about now?
I think you might be referring to Eddie. I think Eddie's the one that did the...
No, I have you.
Oh, well, remember, you told me there's parts of the interview that I haven't seen.
I have you saying, hearts beating faster, prepare to meet my wrath.
You're walking in the rainy night, you hear my piss and scream. Walk a little faster, hear my evil laugh. You're running in the dark, afraid you wish it were a dream. Heart is beating faster, prepare to meet my wrath.
I also have you saying, yeah, we wrote this song about Hitler, but just as a guy. I mean, we didn't really think about it any other way.
And we have another song called The Fuhrer, which is like just kind of shedding light on Hitler and stuff, not as to glorify him or to degrade him, just putting across the person, getting the idea across of what he was supposed to be like.
I will try to give you an example. It's a song called Shadows of Yesterday, and it's about how I struggle with nostalgia and, idealizing parts of my past. And one of the lyrics is pictures of life, shadows of yesterday, vision in time, portrait of pain. Nothing else is coming to mind right now. I should have printed out some lyrics.
That's interesting that you are nostalgic. Do you feel that nostalgia for the past, back to 1986?
To an extent. I really enjoyed seeing that footage after all these years. It's hard, in your early 50s not to idealize, being 17 years old. But, a lot of great and interesting things have happened since then. So that's not really what I'm nostalgic about. It's more, life has been tough for the past 5 years. So, things from when I was happier, are things that I'm nostalgic about. And, sometimes it's hard to let go of those things.
Back then, you said that your father kind of liked the music, and your mother, she ignored the music and you for a while when you were doing it. What happened on that score? Are they still around, and have they stayed with you on this issue? Did they come to accept you in the music?
My mother passed away 10 years ago. And she wasn't not supportive, but, I was 17 years old. She didn't know what I was doing half the time. And I was really probably pretty hard to relate to at that time. My father was a lot more hip to music, and, both myself and my brother played music. And so he was always interested in what we were doing. Heavy metal would not have been his thing.
Got confidence, and plus we're superior to all other life forms. So.
Yes.
You were, I feel, I could be prejudiced about this, really a good-looking teenager, very sexy. Did you take advantage of that as a young man, or did you ignore it? What happened to you regarding women, I assume, and your appeal?
I've always had my struggles connecting with women, and that continues to this day. I was married for 12 or 13 years. I've had some long-term relationships, but things always tend to go south, which I suppose is just the nature of things. So to answer your question, no, I was not able to exploit that in regards to any particular good looks I might have had, or certainly the fact that I was in a band didn't really help that much.
Now you have kids, 4 of them. Are you raising your kids with the same sense of attitude as you were raised? And not in terms of what your parents did, but what you were doing. Are you very tolerant of their rebellions and of their disagreements with you? Are you as you were back then, or have you changed?
My kids are largely grown up. My oldest is 24, and then there's a 21, a 19, and a 16. And they're way hipper than I am. They're turning me on to music that I haven't ever really gotten into. As far as rebellions, there hasn't been a lot of rebellion. One of my children is transgender, and I fully support it. And I love them all. They're just way cool. And they're, in spite of the fact that their dad is sometimes a major tool, they love me anyway. So my kids.
Have your children seen the video with you in it? And what is their reaction?
Yes, they did. And one of the best parts about it is at some point during the interview, I was describing what other people expected of a band. And I used the phrase potty tunes, which is a Maine accent, to the extreme. And the kids just picked right up on that. And it became almost a meme to them. Potty tunes.
A lot of what the word metal means to me is just patty tunes,
It's so funny.
What is your feeling about heavy metal as an art form? Then you were very committed. You were going to spend 10 years at it, and if you failed, you were going to keep on doing it until you died.
What happens if you don't make it?
That's unheard of.
No.
Keep trying until I die. There's nothing else I want to do. There's nothing else I'm really capable of doing that I know of that I've tried to do. This is what I want to do. In 10 years down the road, maybe I'll be developed enough to be a classical guitarist or composer or something, which I'd like to get into. But where's the point where you decide you're not going to make it? When you die.
I'm sure I said a lot of things and with a lot of bravado, but heavy metal is just another flavor to me. And I like to use it. I love the sound of a heavy guitar. I I like edgy lyrics, you know. I love the extreme sometime, but I'm not committed to heavy metal. I'm committed to music in general.